Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a project pan update. Woo! I miss doing these more frequently. However, I think the progress of doing them more bi-monthly is going to be kind of how I wanted it to be, like really impressive, like really seeing big results. So I am very excited to share with you guys. We're going to be updating all of my projects today, which are an OG Project Pan, Pan Over Purchase, my 2024 Pan That Pellet, and the project Do Pan, my Battleship. So those are currently my 4 projects that I am participating in, and we're going to go through all of those. I will link my intro video below and in the eye if you want to get caught up. I keep playlists for everything, so project panning 2024 as well as project panning prior to 2024. So I'll link all that below if you're curious and you want to watch some more panning content. I will have that available for you. I will also list across the screen what projects we're updating before we get into it, just to kind of help maybe lay it out a little bit better. This might be a longer video. We have a lot of updates, so grab yourself a snack, a drink. I personally am over the age of 21, so I'm enjoying Miller Lite, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so the first project we're going to be updating is my 2024 Pan That Palette. This initially started as a pan off with my friend Liz over on IG. We were doing a warm versus cool tone palette pan off. I had selected the Huda Beauty Naughty Nude and she had selected the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz. If you guys have been here on my channel, you know I've been working on a chopping block series that has involved a couple of Huda products. And I'm finding that unfortunately my palettes are expiring. That being said, so when Liz and I started this in November, I pulled it out to really start using it. Obviously, we're in a project, and I almost immediately was messaging her and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, my mattes in here are starting to blend away. Some of my shimmers are feeling very dry. And she had said she was experiencing some of the same issues with her palette. So we right then and there were kind of just like, you know, if at any point, like, we're not enjoying this art palette that we selected or the quality is no longer there, like, reach out. We can discontinue the project, whatever, because it kind of seemed like the eyeshadows were potentially expiring as we were dipping into things in November. She, in I believe it was the end of February, had reached out and was like, hey, you know, I just cannot use this anymore. She was like, these shimmers are, you know, similar to what I said in my video. They just like were really flaky, really dry. I don't think she had any reactions like I did to one of the shimmers. But she'd also just been like, the mattes are not performing well. Like, I just don't want to force myself to use something that's, you know, not quality. And I was like, that's totally fine. I totally get that. So then going into March, I was like, do I want to continue to keep this as my PTP or do I want to discontinue it? And my thought was, you know what, since I'm worried about the formula, I'm going to just keep working on it and see, you know, where we can get. And I think by like almost the 3rd week of March, I really just started to struggle with some of those deep matte shades. They begun just blending away on the eye and looking like there were patches, which is not cute. And I just was like, man, what do I want to do? And so I ended up using this quite a few times in March because I was trying to not only decide if I could still use it around the quality issues, but also because I had several of these eyeshadows that were very close to pan. So I buckled down, I used it like very frequently to try and get an idea of what I wanted to do. And in the process of doing that, I was able to hit 5 new pans in this palette during the month of March. Let's see, I hit pan in this shade here. This, oh wait, no, that's the one I already had. Okay, so I hit pan in this deep shade here, Naughty. Then I hit pan in this shade here, Untamed. I also hit pan in the shade Filthy. And then I hit pan in the shade Passion right here. And then I also hit pan in the shade Tantric right there. So wait, that's 1, yeah, that's 5, yeah. So I was able to hit pan in all of those shades, so I'm glad I did decide to stick it out and use it. And I'm also glad I decided to stick it out and use it because it just, you know, I know my preferences and I prefer a deeper outer corner. That is just how I typically do my makeup every day. So the fact that the 3 deepest shades in this palette were no longer performing up to par so that I could do my makeup based on my preferences really was just kind of the sign for me. I think that like a lot of these shimmers are still performing fairly well, but I'm not gonna reach for this. I don't really do companion palettes. I like to reach for one thing to do it all. Sometimes I'll reach into something else, but I don't like having a palette that I can only use like its use is contingent on an availability to another palette, if that makes sense. So ultimately, like I am gonna discontinue my Naughty Nude palette as my PTP. And spoiler, like this will be decluttered in my upcoming declutter video. So it is like really sad and I don't want to, but like I just know I'm not gonna use it the way that those mattes were performing, unfortunately. So I do plan to replace this palette. It is my favorite Huda palette. I think the color story is beautiful. The shimmers and the finishes and textures are gorgeous. So this is one I am going to attempt to replace because I do love it. Like pretty clearly, this is my favorite Huda Beauty palette. So I will replace this, but I am going to retire this one. And then I was like, okay, I am not going to be doing this palette anymore. Do I want to rotate in a different palette as a pan that palette? And I don't think so. I'm doing my Battleship project, which involves my bronze Natasha Denona palette. And I've really just been focusing on rotating through my palettes. I'm tracking the usage on my palettes this year, and it has been so insightful and enlightening. I'm really loving that. So I think that for now, I'm not gonna have a pan that palette, but I was happy that overall, I mean, from March or from November of 2023, I was able to get a lot of additional use out of this and hit a lot of additional pans that I would not have if it wouldn't have been a part of this project. So I am grateful for that insight because yeah, I ended up with a total of 12 pans and 1 empty pan in this palette. So it just looks gorgeous. I love beat to ship palettes. I think they look so much prettier when they're well used. So yeah, that's another thing. That's why I was telling someone, I'm like, I don't keep track of pan percentage because I feel like then it really like weighs in with when I'm like decluttering things that I don't think perform well anymore or I don't want anymore. Then it's like, God damn, 12 pans gone. Like that just destroyed my percentage. So that's why I don't really focus on panning percentage because my collection like ebbs and flows, you know? So yeah, but that's it for my PTP. I won't be doing another one, so there won't be an update for that next time. All right, next up, pan over purchase. This is the project that I have co-created with my friend Steph over on IG. This is our 3rd year doing this project and I could sing its praises for, you know, days. I love it. It's changed my collection, changed my mindset, all of these things. It's been really beneficial for my spending habits. And yeah, I just love it. I will attach the rules, disclaimers, all of that up there in the corner so that if you do want to join, you're more than welcome to join us. The months I'm going to be covering are February and March. So in the month of February, I had an extremely slow month, which is okay. Again, empties, pans, ebbs and flows. And the only points that I had in February were I had a pan in my KVD Good Apple foundation. I freaking love this. I actually had to put it away because I needed to finish up some other things, but I fully plan to bust this out again in May, and I'm really excited about that. But I was able to hit pan in this, and then I was also able to empty a mascara, and that was all in February. So just 2 points, but 2 is better than none. It was a slow month. Those happen. That being said, hold on to your fucking pants because March was literal March madness. Like, it was crazy, you guys. The amount of pans I hit, I would classify as a little bit obnoxious. I was starting to feel obnoxious posting about them, but like, in all honesty, I couldn't help it. Like, even when I was using other things that I wasn't mindfully aware were close to pan, I hit some surprise pans. So it was just one of those months where, you know, months and years of prior work started all paying off at the same time. It was insanity. That being said, I am going to be attaching photos of, you know, the pans that I hit and the products that I emptied throughout this month so you can see. But I had a total of 7 empties this month, and they weren't just like, you know, minis and whatnot. Like, they, in my opinion, were big empties. Like, I had 3 lip product empties. That to me is like pretty substantial. And I also had a foundation empty, and I was very excited about that too, especially because that product was expiring and starting to cause me to break out. So I'm really just glad I was able to wrap it up before I like could no longer use it, because it was getting to that point. But anyways, so I had a total of 7 empties, which was great, a really great empties month. And these empties also paired with a really great panning month. I had 14 eyeshadow pans in the month of March. And the most insane thing was that I don't think I hit a single one until like the toward like the end of the second week of March. So it was literally just from there on, it was like bam, bam, not hitting one every day, but sometimes I would hit 2 a day. So it really just like all popped off at once, and it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Even like I took something that I was like, I took my ABH Primrose palette and I used this a handful of times, and I didn't even think anything was close to pan, and I ended up hitting pan in here. Like, you know, just things like that happened in a couple of shades. So I ended up with 14 eyeshadow pans in March, which I don't know, honestly, like I could, well, dang it, I hate that IG got rid of guides. But I could probably go back and look at my previous years of pan that purchase to see if I've ever had a month of panning that big, but I don't think that I have. I think this has been my biggest panning month to date, which is just like really exciting. But yeah, so anyways, my total points for March ended up being 21 total points. So I then take that and I factor that into the 3 categories, which will be my yearly points, my yearly empties, and my yearly total. So far for the year 2024, I've hit 22 pans. I've emptied 11 makeup products, and that has brought me to a total of 33 points for the year of 2024. With this update, I was able to earn 1 purchase, so I will be able to pick up a new item. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been thinking about this since it started popping off, and I've been thinking about it, and I cannot decide what I want, you guys. I definitely am feeling very blush oriented right now, but I have gotten so many new blushes in. I'm like, I don't need a blush, but like I kind of want a blush. But the thing is, I can't decide which one I want. I want the Danessa Myricks Vision Flush in the shade Tutu. That is on the top of my list. But then also I have been trying out the Kaja one. The Kaja one is so good. I have 3 other shades on my list and I want them all. I do. I want them all. I don't know. So I am not going to make a purchase right away, just because I want to see some, my friend Steph got the Kaja Beauty Blushes in PR, and we have similar skin tone. So I want to wait and I want to see the shades I have on my wish list. I want to see her swatches and them on her skin to make sure I feel comfortable in them, and then go from there. But yeah, I have blushes on my radar for this purchase currently. We'll see if that's what I end up getting, but that's what's on the radar. But yeah, that is the update for Pan Over Purchased. Very exciting month. I'm hoping to keep some of that momentum going into the month of April. I do have, at least 2 shades right now I can think of off the top of my head that I know are pretty close to Pan. But yeah, just very, very exciting Pan Over Purchase month. All right, the next project I'm participating in is Did You Pan My Battleship? This was created over on IG, and I don't know the handles off the top of my head, but I credit them in the description of these updates if you want to see who the creators are. I am playing this with Steph. We didn't create it, like I said, but we are playing together, which has been really fun because we're both very active on IG. We both do our makeup pretty much on a daily basis. So it's actually been really fun to really actively play with someone, and we're both loving our palettes. I think that makes the biggest difference, that we chose a palette that we genuinely enjoy using on a daily. So I think that's been helpful. If you don't know, I am playing with the Natasha Denona Bronze palette, and she's playing with the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. So we wanted to choose the same brand just to make it a little bit more fair, because Natasha Denona shadows are much deeper than, let's say, Huda Beauty's, or man, do I even have anything else in my palette, in my collection right now? Really? Not really. But like, they're just a lot deeper of a pan, so we kind of wanted to make sure that it would be pretty even pairing. But since you guys saw this last, I have been able to hit 2 new pans. I finally was able to get the one in the shade Silk. And you guys, I wish I would have, since I got this palette, I wish I would have tracked how many times I've used the shade Silk, because I kid you not, I use that shade, I would say almost like 9.5 out of 10 times every time I use this palette. Like, I almost always use that shade. So God, and it took so long. It was insanity, but I was able to hit that pan. Unfortunately, it is not a hit though, it is a miss. So this was a pre-existing pan. This is a new pan that is a miss. And then this little pan here, this one was more of a surprise pan. I knew it was deep and getting close, but I didn't know if we would hit it or not. This one, however, was a hit. So that's really exciting. That means there's gonna be for sure, well, I guess not for sure, because I think, well, I'd have to look back how we set up our ships, but I think we did like 3, 2, 2, and 1 maybe. I don't know. But I would have to go back and look. But essentially, you're trying to sink ships and stuff. So my next bet would either be to start moving in this direction or to start moving in this direction. I think it'll tell a little bit more too once I hit pan in this shade. This is one that I think is very close. I don't think it's right now, but I think it's one that I will hit within about 5 uses. I usually use that on the like outer corner into the crease, or like as a wing. so it gets, I don't know, worn down a little bit quicker. This is one of the ones I was talking about. I think that I could, you know, hit pan during the month of April. So yeah, 1 miss, 1 hit, total of 3 pans, working on pan number 4. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this really was a good update. We had progress, and that's literally kind of all that matters. Steph and I had decided we're only updating this every other month as well, just because I kind of feel like when I'm updating every month, there's so much more pressure to use the product. Whereas like if I have 2 months to use it, I feel like I can use it more organically and still see more progress than I typically would in a month. So it's kind of just worked out really nice that way. But yeah, that is my Dude You Pan My Battleship update. Okay, so the last update is gonna be for my OG Project Pan. I do have 1 empty, and I have a product that I also want to rotate in. So let's dive in, start chatting and updating. The first product is gonna be the NARS Matte Balm. This is in the shade Unrestricted. This over here is where it was when we started. As you can see, it's like just under the tip of the A and that Huda Beauty logo there. Now, this is where it is at, which as you can see, like we do not have a ton left, you guys. And at first I was like, it definitely seems like I have less, but I wasn't sure how much, which is why I'm glad I took those like progress photos, because now it's like down at the bottom of the A. So there has been progress with this. I'm hoping that actually by our next update, I think that this will probably be empty. This is one that I reach for pretty frequently and I reapply a lot because it's comfortable, and the tone is just beautiful. It's like probably like one of my favorite tones in my whole collection. Yeah, it's stunning. So it's one that I frequently reach for and might even repurchase just because that's how much I gravitate toward the product. The next item is the Dior lip oil, which is, this is what it looked like when we were here last time. It is now fucking empty. It is empty, and I'll insert a picture because as soon as it was empty, trash. I literally hate that packaging so much. It is so freaking messy. I would not recommend it. I will never repurchase it. I'm so glad to have it out of my collection. I feel like it's been in my project pan for like months because it's one that rolled over from 2023. So I'm happy that that is freaking gone. The next product is the Makeup Forever liner. I have the shade 506 Endless Cacao, and I took this picture kind of weird, but this is what it looked like before. And I'll insert the after as well, but as you could see in that other picture, if you look at the markings here, I should have like done it on this side. That would have been, you know, but whatever. But if you look at the markings over here, we were well above this eye in the initial photo. And now we're like almost done with the eye. So we have come down so much, which I wear this like probably, I would say 7 to 8 times out of 10 when I am wearing a lipstick. So it's a product that gets used very frequently. I love the tone. It's actually cool. It's great for contrast. I actually usually wear it with the lipstick I have on today, but branched out and used a different liner. But yeah, we've made very significant progress on this. I don't think it'll be empty by the next update, but we'll see. I've definitely been going through it much faster than I originally anticipated, so you never know. The next product I have is the Kaja Gloss Shot, and over there is what it looked like previously. And as you can see, we've also come a really long way on this gloss, which is very, very exciting. I really like these. The formula is really good. It's super hydrating, very glossy, nourishing. Has like a really light, subtle pigment to it. It's the shade 4, which is Pink Drink. I'm definitely hopeful that this will be an empty by the next update. This one is like one of my older ones as well, so I'm kind of just trying to filter through some of those products, but very happy with the progress that I have made on that product. I also have the Danessa Myricks sample card, the Vision Flush one that I'm still working on. Since the last update though, I have emptied another one of the samples. I before had emptied the shade Bread and Butter, but I recently just emptied Tutu, which is this really bright pink. This is one I was talking about earlier that I want the full size of now. That's what I want. I really loved it. I went into this sample thinking, oh, well, I'll probably only actually have to wear it once or twice because I won't like the tone on me. So it'll be easy to filter it out. No, I loved it. Couldn't get enough of it. So yeah, now I want the full size. These samples are huge. I think I talk about that every time, but you only need the smallest amount. So I am getting about 8 to 10 uses out of each sample, which is pretty significant, which is why it is taking me about 2 months to finish a sample. That means I'm like using it fairly consistently, but I'm still using my other products. That being said, in my Shop My Stash video, I talked about I'm gonna take like a little bit of a break from the sample card during the month of April. That means this is still in my project pan, but I'm not gonna pick out a new shade this month to start working on. I would anticipate in the month of May, I will probably pull out Sweet Nectar, and that's what I'll start working on next. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with it. I've got 2 samples down and a couple more to go, but it's going to be on the back burner for the first, intermission, or what am I trying to say? It's going to be on the back burner for the next month. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. The next product was the Merit Signature Lipstick. I have the shade Baby. And I've used this quite a few times, not as much as I could have, I guess, but I have used it, and you can tell, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it to focus the way I want, but you'll be able to see in the close-up over here where the inscription is. It says Merit across right here, and in the old photo compared to the new photo, we have moved down on the embossing. So we did make progress on this product during this period, this updating period. And that's just something I want to do. I'm going to keep being mindful to use it. Like I said, I think it might be the oldest one in my collection, so I want to use it more. I love the shade, I love the formula, and I'm really glad that I've been able to shimmy it on down a little bit. The next product is the Nude Sticks Bronzer, and that is the one I have depotted into my customized quad here. I know it might not, it's probably hard to tell if I've really made any progress, right, based on the photo in this, but I definitely have. I worked on some other bronzer throughout this period as well. I was able to finish up a powdered bronzer, so I didn't use it as much as I would have liked, but I still did work on it and use it. In fact, from the photo over here, I have scraped it out and repressed it because I was getting really close to pan, and as I was working my way down, there were a lot of these like little bumps here. So I just like kind of scraped it out, mixed it together, pushed it in, and I've been working it back down, and I'm starting to be able to see some of like the side pan here. It's not risen or touching the mirror anymore. So there has been progress. It's probably just like pretty hard to see. I'm anticipating by the next update, at minimum, I will have a huge pan in this, and potentially it will be finished. Because like I said, there's like some pretty big pan on the side here, and on the side here. So I think that now that I'm going to be pretty much primarily using these two, we're going to be making moves on this product, but still happy with the use and the way that it is coming along. I also had the Rare Beauty sample in here as well, which I have yet to touch. I will be pulling out the shade Joy though, because I was sent via Skeepers the liquid shade of Joy, and I would rather try out this sample than use it out of the tube in case I don't like it. That way I can just give it to someone else. So this blush will be used this month in my makeup basket, which is another reason I really just didn't want to rotate another blush sample in from the Danessa card, because I have this and then I have like 3 other new blushes as well that came into my collection. I have a blush quad I haven't even used yet. So I talk a little bit about that. Actually, I talk a lot about that in my Shop My Stash video for April. So if that's already up, then I will link it for you guys if you want to check it out. But yes, the shade Joy is what I'm going to be actively working on in the month of April. And then lastly, I have the Hourglass Concealer, which this is what it looked like before, and this is what it is looking like right now. I have taken the stopper out, and it's very clearly like down in here because, like I said, no stopper. We can see all the way down to here. When I pull this product out, I can see like to the bottom. I don't know. And like the product on the sides is starting to get a lot thinner and to wear down. I'm not getting nearly as much coming up on the doe foot. I fully think that this is a product, if I wouldn't have pulled the stopper out, would have already been empty. But I'm hopeful that this only has like 2 weeks at most left before I'm able to empty it. It is the oldest one in my collection, and I do kind of feel like the formula is starting to get a little, so I want to make sure I'm getting it used up before that happens. So hopefully in the next like 2 weeks, it will be emptied. And then, like I mentioned, I did want to rotate one product in. And this product, the goal is not going to be to empty it. The goal is just going to be to hit pan. And that's what I love about project pans, like the OG project pan, is that you can cater it so much to your needs of what you prefer as a makeup user, as a panner, whatever your goals are. Because you can do like, you know, my goal is to empty this, my goal is to use this 10 times, my goal is to just hit pan. Like you can cater them so well to your needs, and I love that. That being said, I'm gonna rotate in the Chanel bronzer. This is the Le Beige in the shade Tan Bronze. And I am setting a goal to just hit pan. I do have a very nice dip going in this, but there is so much fucking product in these, you guys. Like, it is actually obnoxious. There's 30 grams. 30 grams. That's so crazy. So my goal is going to be to hit pan on this. The oldest bronzers in my collection are the Nude Sticks one. We're already panning and will for sure finish this year. And then this one, which I don't know if I could ever finish this, even if it was my only one. Oh, there's so much in here. So I was like, you know what? Like, I just want to try and hit pan in this by the end of 2023. I think I would feel really great about that. My cream bronzer collection right now is pretty curated. So when I'm reaching for something different per se, I'm usually reaching for this. So I'm going to rotate this in, see where it goes. Hopefully we can hit pan. But yeah, that's going to be the new product that's in right now. I think that's it. If you guys didn't know, I've switched my empties content to, I'm going to be tagging my makeup empties along at the end of my speed reviews videos. So when I'm doing those at the end, I'll do my makeup empties and my reviews on what I have emptied. So if you're curious about that, you'll be able to find those there moving forward. And yeah, I think that's it for right now. There are definitely other products I could see myself rotating in, but I want to wait just a little bit and see how things go. Move a few out before we move a few in, because right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 products that were in, and I added 1. So I actively have 9 products in my project pan, which is manageable for me right now. And then I think that I will potentially, by the next time you see me, have at least 3 empties. And at that point, I will probably select something else to be rotated in. I just don't want to get like too many going to where I feel like overwhelmed or I can't use what I want because I need to focus on items. But yes, that is all. I hope you guys enjoyed this update. I did. I had fun. I felt like it was a really great update for me personally. I loved waiting a little bit. We saw a lot better results, even though I was itching to share with you guys so much sooner. But yeah, that is all that I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're new, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Also, chat with me in the comments. How's your project painting going? Let me know. I'm curious. I want to know. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.